Have you ever wondered what it would be like if the person you trust the most turns out to be a cold-blooded murderer? Imagine a small, tranquil village in Kudatayi, Kerala, where life is serene and predictable. Now imagine this mundane tranquility shattered by a series of suspicious deaths spanning 14 long years, 6 graves, and an ordinary-looking woman named Jolly Joseph at the heart of it all. The initial shock and disbelief in the community were palpable. Jolly was not just a familiar face, she was a respected college professor, a figure of trust and reverence. She was woven into the very fabric of the community, attending church, participating in social work, and living a seemingly ordinary life. Yet beneath this veneer of respectability and normalcy, a sinister plot was unfolding, one that would shock the nation and garner significant media attention. The deaths began with Jolly's mother-in-law, followed by her husband, uncle, cousin's daughter, cousin's wife, and cousin's mother. Each death, while seemingly unrelated and attributed to natural causes, left a void in the community, a sense of unease that something was amiss. Yet it was only after the 6th death that the authorities began to connect the dots, leading them back to the unlikeliest of suspects, Jolly Joseph. The investigation was fraught with difficulties. The crimes were meticulously planned, leaving little evidence behind. Moreover, the realization that a respected member of the community could potentially be a serial killer was a pill too bitter to swallow. Yet, as the police delved deeper, inconsistencies began to surface. Inconsistencies that pointed towards a chilling possibility. Jolly's arrest in 2019 marked the beginning of the unraveling of a mystery that had plagued Kudatayi for over a decade. The revelation sent shockwaves through the community, leaving them grappling with the reality of the woman they thought they knew. But as the graves were dug up, a chilling tale started to unfold. Behind the facade of a jovial and pious woman lay a master manipulator. Born into a farmer's family, Jolly was far removed from the affluent lifestyle of Roy's family. Yet she was not a stranger to ambition and determination. Her relationship with Roy, the eldest son of the respected Thomas family, was a testament to that. Despite the disapproval of Roy's father Tom, their love story bloomed, culminating in their marriage in 1997. Jolly's charm and affability won over the hearts of her in-laws and the broader community. She was admired for her religious devotion and active involvement in social work. Her father-in-law's initial disapproval melted away, replaced by respect and acceptance. However, beneath this positive exterior, the seeds of discontent were being sown. The Thomas family, known for their emphasis on education and career, began to apply pressure on Jolly to find employment. Anima, Roy's mother, was particularly insistent, but Jolly, content with managing household chores, resisted. The tension between mother and daughter-in-law simmered, leading to the sudden death of Anima in 2002. Jolly, quick to adapt, understood that to maintain her status in society, she needed to emulate Anima. She secured a job at a prestigious institution, further enhancing her standing within the community. She was no longer just the farmer's daughter who married into a wealthy family. She was now a respected teacher, a beloved wife, and a cherished daughter-in-law. But as Jolly's star rose, so did the frequency of her cousin Matthew's visits. A jeweller by profession, Matthew and Jolly had become close friends, much to her in-laws' dismay. Unfazed by their disapproval, Jolly continued to meet Matthew secretly. Behind the facade of a jovial and pious woman, a master manipulator was orchestrating a deadly game. Her unsuspecting victims were none other than her own family. But beneath this perfect exterior, a sinister plot was brewing. In 2002, the family was hit with their first tragedy. Anima, Jolly's mother-in-law, suddenly passed away, leaving a void in the family. Anama, a beloved figure in the family, was known for her advocacy for education and career, often pressuring Jolly to find a job. This sudden loss deeply affected the family, but it was Jolly who took the reins. She stepped in to fill the void left by Anima, taking over household responsibilities. In the wake of this tragedy, however, Jolly realized that if she wanted respect in society, she needed to secure a job, just like Anima. And so she did, securing a position at an esteemed institution. This job marked a significant shift in Jolly's life and status. She was no longer just a housewife, but a respected teacher in the community. She was no longer under the shadow of her mother-in-law, but was now a figure of authority and respect in her own right. But even as Jolly's status rose, the family was far from safe. As Jolly's star rose, so did her ambitions. She had become a respected figure in the community, a status that was further enhanced by her job at an esteemed institution. But behind the facade of respectability, Jolly was nurturing a dangerous liaison. Her cousin Matthew Thomas, a jeweller by profession, had become a frequent visitor to her house. Their bond was more than familial. They were close friends. This relationship, however, did not sit well with Jolly's in-laws. Despite their disapproval, Jolly and Matthew continued their meetings in secret, fueling the fires of suspicion and unease within the family. Meanwhile, Tom, Jolly's father-in-law, had developed a habit of taking energy capsules every evening. One day Jolly handed him a capsule, just like any other day. But this day was different. Not long after, Tom had a seizure and fell into a coma. He was rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. Tom Thomas was declared dead upon arrival. The cause of death was ruled as a heart attack. Given his age and health, this diagnosis didn't raise any eyebrows. No one questioned the suddenness of his death, and no one demanded an autopsy. The shadow of sorrow fell upon the family once again. But there was no suspicion yet, no hint of foul play. After all, heart attacks were common, and Tom was not a young man. Jolly, the dutiful daughter-in-law, played her part well. She mourned with the family, grieved the loss, and comforted the bereaved. All the while, she quietly slipped into the role of the family matriarch, taking over the responsibilities that once belonged to Tom and Anamar. With Tom's death, Jolly's path was clear, but her thirst for power was far from quenched. In 2011, Jolly's deadly acts reached their climax. As the year unfolded, the undercurrents of tension and deceit were growing stronger. Roy's business was spiraling into a pit of losses, leaving him in a state of constant worry. The pillar of support he expected from his wife was nowhere to be found. Instead, whispers of Jolly's illicit affair with Matthew, the cousin and jeweller, started to echo in the corridors of their home. Roy found himself trapped in a double-edged sword situation. On one side was his failing enterprise, on the other, his wife's betrayal. The strain of it all began to show, and cracks appeared in their once happy marriage. Jolly, no longer the doting wife, demanded a divorce. Many speculate it was her relationship with Matthew and the downfall of Roy that pushed her to this drastic decision. The day of September 30th, 2011 began like any other, but by nightfall would turn into a scene straight out of a chilling crime novel. Jolly prepared dinner for Roy, a simple meal of rice and lentil soup. After the meal, Roy retreated to the bathroom, a routine act that would be his last. As minutes turned into hours, Jolly's repeated knocks on the bathroom door met with no response. The silence that followed was the calm before the storm. With the help of a neighbour, the door was broken down to reveal the horrifying sight of Roy, lifeless on the cold bathroom floor, a trickle of foam escaping his lifeless lips. The seemingly normal life of Jolly was a facade that masked her sinister intentions. Roy's death marked the end of a long chain of planned murders, orchestrated with chilling precision. The woman who had once won over the hearts of her family and community had turned their lives into a living nightmare. With Roy's death, the curtain fell on Jolly's deadly play. The truth, they say, is stranger than fiction. The events that unfolded in Kudathai were a chilling testament to this adage. A seemingly ordinary woman, Jolly, had masterminded a series of deaths spanning over 14 years, causing shockwaves throughout the tight-knit community and beyond. The revelations of her deceit and manipulation, masked by a facade of respectability and piety, left many questioning their perceptions. The deaths of 6 family members, initially thought to be natural, had been meticulously planned murders. Jolly's arrest in 2019 and her confession to using cyanide sent shockwaves through the country. The case garnered significant media attention, thrusting Kudathai into the spotlight. The ongoing investigation continues to unravel the layers of Jolly's crimes, leaving everyone on edge. The question of whether Jolly acted alone or was part of a larger conspiracy remains unanswered, keeping the mystery alive. As we wait for justice to be served, we are left to wonder, How well do we really know the people around us?